guys? Yellow mini bikes, what we're trying to get out of there today. Boy, that's gonna be a fun one. Guys, welcome back to the Rollin' On channel. If it's your first time joining us, my name's Zach, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today I have this DB30 mini bike. I took the Baja engine out of it. It was like 70 cc's or something. And I'm going to be putting this in there. And this is a surplus generator engine from the military, pushing 260 cubic centimeters. And so if you're interested in that, stick around and enjoy the video. Thanks for coming. What in the world is going on in here? I'll have to do some research and figure that out. It's that close to fitting. Unbelievable. This is kind of cool. This thing is tiny, but you can hear it. It has this little lift pump. The fuel goes up to the carb. All copper or brass tubing. Pretty nice. Just to see if it runs, I'm gonna slip this piece, or try to slip this piece of tubing I have on here. If you've ever wondered why Featherlight has the best weed eaters, it's because of the plastic crankcase. So I was basically just barely able to get that up through there, but that'll be perfect. I might actually just end up mounting that on the mini bike too. Interference fits are basically how weed eater hoses work. There'd just be a smaller diameter that would go in here for a regular weed eater. So I just rigged this thing up on here, and I even have those army green zip ties. But I think that'll work fine for now until I can see that this engine's running. This is where she sucks air in at, so I'm going to try to take this off of here and see what the air filter looks like. Pretty clean and probably original considering it's army green. Pop this air filter thing off of here. That way I can shoot air right, or carb cleaner right into the carb. Sort of seemed like it wanted to go. Okay, so it ran on carb cleaner, and I'm hoping that if I do that again, it will suck fuel. Okay, so there's obviously fuel coming out of there, and this just came out on my wrench. And it's basically congealed gasoline, so it's not very good. Okay. These are totally asbestos gaskets. So I found on the internet there are great diagrams for all this military stuff. So this is the fuel pump that came off. Has this little thing that I'm pretty sure picks up on a lobe. And that's what makes the fuel pump go up and down. When I do that, the pump goes up and down, and that is the same as what this lever does. As far as I'm concerned, that is doing what it's supposed to, but it was not before. Okay, cracking into the governor portion of the carb here. So anyway, I believe that's asbestos too. I think as long as you keep it coated in oil, you're good though. Basically that linkage comes up from the governor, and this is literally just a housing for a little clip that hooks up to this butterfly valve in here. This is interesting. I've never actually seen a bowl with a float attached to it. Usually the float is part of the carb. And at this bowl though, it doesn't look to me like I had fresh fuel in here whenever I went to start this. I thought for sure that hooking that fuel line directly to the carb, that this carb would pull fuel, but apparently it didn't. So I'm going to check the jets on this and put this back together. I'm totally going to put a new gasket on here, probably not a cork one, and then we're going to throw this back on there and see if the engine starts. It looks relatively clean in here. I think it may just not have been getting fuel, but it doesn't take much to gum these up and they won't run quite right, so I'm happy I opened it anyhow. Seen several innovations here that I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of. The way that they hold the pin in for the float is this little piece of, I don't know what it is, brass spring. When you put the bowl on the carb, it presses this spring down and holds the pin in there for the float. This is definitely the most unique carburetor I've ever taken apart, and I've probably taken apart hundreds. It looks like I could have gotten at that jet just by unscrewing this screw, and it looks like that's still the only way I can get that out of there. And you can adjust the other jet just with this screw. No carb cleaner, just gas. Someone come over here and find me a 5/16 24 in this pile. I've always wanted to try these pliers, like these bionic grip type pliers. Let's see how they do here. Not good. Awful, actually. Oh, it's moving. So lucky that that came out of there. Why does everything have to be a different size? This is the third socket I've used. Some nice tin work on this thing. I hate to even take it off. I love how sturdy everything is. Like, this is just a spark plug wire But they literally make it bomb-proof with this. Yeah, that is way cooler than letting that shroud on there. I think I'm going to take them all off. I think the front looks pretty cool too. You can see the 2 cylinders now. I don't know. Should I have taken those off or not? You can let me know what you think. So we have a bit of a weeble wobble going here now. And I'm going to cut a hole for that drain plug now so that this thing sits flat on the oil pan here. Got some interference going on here, so I'm going to take this out of here. Okay, so here's our preliminary engine mount here. I think it should work out pretty good. Okay, this turned out pretty good. We'll pretend that wasn't close. That is not going to move. Ow. Oh. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this because this is keyed the whole way through. Both of these pieces are. And this thing takes a Woodruff key. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Kind of looks like it has a little bit of a twist in it, but maybe slightly, but not enough for it to be an issue. Ended up using quite a few of these little Dremel wheels. Whoa! Might have to grind off the head of those bolts a little bit. I think it might be rubbing on the back of this. That looks sketchy. Let's get this cover back on here. Oh. Just chasing this thread because something was a little bit fishy here. 5/16 24 fine thread. I'm going to go with about that, which is 1 inch. So what do we have here? 1 inch. I don't really see the purpose of this thing, honestly. Maybe I can just throw a washer on the end of this. I think I'm going to do that. This is kind of an intricately machined piece, so I assume it's for something, but I can't see what. Now, if that isn't the sturdiest thing you've seen all day, I don't know what is. That'll work for our mock-up here, I think. End up having to put a tensioner on here, but be all right for now. All right, guys, unfortunately that's going to be it for this one. Stick around for part 3 where we finish this up, put the seat back on, throttle, a couple other odds and ends, and we'll be done. Probably in the next week or two I'm going to get started on the 4-foot speedboat. Let me show that to you. So I picked up this Nitro speedboat off a guy, which is pretty sweet. It's like 4 foot long. I bet the thing goes like 60 miles an hour. Has a sweet little engine in it. The exhaust is really cool too. I'll pull that apart and show it to you in a different video, but it's piped. So I'm pretty excited about that. So guys, if you like the video, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny and it really helps me out. My analytics show that about 1% of the people that watch all of my videos subscribe. If we could increase that just a couple percent, that would be fantastic for me. I'm creeping up on 2,500 subscribers. If you're subscribed, I really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Take care.